Okay, we are going to go to some spread picks for week 4. Now, reminder, this is early. This is an early glance. We're just going to take you through the model here, but we will go through our top 5 spread picks. Let's get right to them.
The early edge.
All right, so our first down week for the top 5, I believe last week, they went 2-3 overall, 7-9 on the week. Still a positive return on the year, 27-21 through 3 weeks. If you're using these in a Pick'ems league, that should have you pretty high up there. It's got us 4th in ours in the Pick'em contest in the Discord, and it's I think the 86th percentile in the overall on ESPN's platform ranking. So pretty good stuff if you're following the picks. There will be some down weeks as to be expected, but overall positive, and see if we could bounce back in week 4. I'll pull them up real quick, and first I'll just run through the top 5, and then after that we'll kind of discuss each game a little bit. So overall, we got Bucks plus 3.5 versus the Eagles at 58.9%. Followed by the Colts plus 3.5 at the Rams, also 58.9%. Steelers plus 2.5 versus the Vikings, 58.2%. Falcons plus 2.5 versus the Commanders, 58.2%. And Bengals plus 7.5 at the Broncos, 58.4%. So if we go back to the top spreads have been pretty good so far. The models like the Bucks quite a bit this season. It's worked out every time they've been underdogs. I think they covered I think they were minus 1.5 in the game they were favored, and they won that. They found a way, as we said, to almost lose, but win all 3 of these games so far, winning in the final minute in each one. This is going to be their toughest matchup for sure with the Eagles. They'll be without Mike Evans with a hamstring injury for at least a couple weeks.
Egbuka. That could open the door for my guy Emeka.
Yeah. We might actually be talking about him as offensive rookie of the year too late next week. So who knows? Godwin could be back, but I doubt he'll be 100%. So yeah, I mean, if there's an Egbuka spot, it's this one. The Eagles haven't really shut anybody down in the passing game so far. So, definitely up there. I'm sure you like this, Greg, but getting it at 3.5 instead of 3, which it is on some books, is pretty important. So pretty good top spread here. I don't know. Me personally, I'm staying away from fading the Eagles too much. I feel like it's going to bite me if I keep doing it, but the model's got a pretty good shot here. So if you get the edge, which we have, it's probably worth your time.
Yeah, at bare minimum, that's an early glance at 2 of the questions we had, right? What's really going on with Philly at 3-0, but flirting with disaster in a couple kind of ugly games? And then are we buying Tampa? Yeah, it seems we are buying Tampa right now. I love the key number, as you said. I'm also looking at this Colts number right now because I'm looking at the screen. We've got our little studio here on the episode we're recording. I also have a laptop up with the model's best bets that update in real time, and not to expose you or anything here, but this has already moved a little bit. Colts up to +4, which takes the probability from 58% up to 65% for the Colts. If you like the Colts, obviously you love the line movement here, but that's another interesting spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. You always want to check the real-time probabilities. We pull this stuff together before the show, so there's bound to be sometimes discrepancies. But yeah, I mean, you're getting an extra half a point, a full point outside the key number. This is the only road team in this top 5, so they probably like that extra half a point if you don't really like road dogs. Similar to the Bucks, this is going to be the really first big test for the Colts against the Rams. We definitely want to avoid a 2-2 start. After the walk-off loss. Only allowed 1 rushing TD. That's the Rams, which is going to be key for them to slow down Jonathan Taylor. So you got to be a little hesitant there. The Colts have really leaned on Jonathan Taylor a lot. Not to say that Daniel Jones hasn't looked good in the passing game, which he has. And the Rams did finally let the Eagles open up that passing game a lot, though. So if you're on the Rams side, I'd be a little concerned against a revitalized Daniel Jones. And I think this might stand out to me as a more preferable pick compared to the Bucks one.
I think I'm with you on that. I think I like both, to be honest with you, though. I mean, again, both at a number that I like. If it was 2.5, I'd certainly have a little pause. But man, I'm just buying both the Colts and the Bucks as really, really good football teams and sneaky contenders. And I think also both these teams too, just mental, emotional edge here. I think they're going to view these games as sort of prove it games, right? An opportunity to get
Definitely.
the Rams or a team like the Eagles. And if you buy, they have some substance to back it up. Certainly with the Colts offense. I mean, it was what the most time in a season that a team went without punting in NFL history through 3
Yeah,
weeks. That's an
one
absurd
punt.
stat to say out loud. It's crazy.
One punt. That guy's getting paid to just show up.
It's absolutely absurd. And like after all the turmoil in the offseason too of the decision to go to Daniel Jones and to deliver the offense into a spot where they're already that successful. I think there's substance here. The only problem, I do think that both the Rams and Eagles are teams that the model has liked through 3 weeks too, which is interesting to me. Sometimes I feel like there's a couple teams that the model rarely wants to fade. I would consider both the Eagles and Rams in that bucket, but hey, value is value. And if this line for the Colts is going to keep going up, I mean, I'm certainly going to be playing it at 4 or higher. What else do we got here? Steelers plus 2.5 next.
Yep, I think it's a little surprising to see the Steelers as home dogs here. At least 2.5. I feel like it feels like a much closer matchup on paper. Vikings lit it up last week, heavily aided by the Bengals' 5 turnovers, though. Steelers won a really sloppy game by the Patriots, who also had 5 turnovers, so it shouldn't have been as close. So I guess if you're looking at which team can win the 5 turnover game, probably the opponent better, then I guess sure it's the Vikings. But yeah, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers has looked pretty Aaron Rodgers of late. Not crazy good, not turning back the clock, but he hasn't looked outright terrible either, as he had sometimes in his Jets tenure. I probably would lean the home team. Although they didn't lose TJ Watt. That's the 49ers who lost Bosa. So yeah, I don't know. This is probably just a general stay away from me. Vikings still don't totally know what we're going to get with Carson Wentz against a more formidable team, but model's got a pretty strong opinion here and has it as a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with Minnesota, man. I don't. Now, like, give them credit for just a statement, shut everybody up, everything's fine without JJ McCarthy performance last week, but let's not forget, Cincy without Joe Burrow is just a wounded animal. And that was abundantly obvious. The Vikings defense made a bazillion great plays in that game, but it was an unrepeatable game script, is what I would say. A lot of fortunate turnover-driven plays. So, I tend to believe Minnesota is a franchise that can weather the storm of injury, especially at quarterback, given what happened last year. The Steelers are not a team that I've loved eye test wise this season whatsoever. So I'm at least mildly surprised to see that the model likes Pittsburgh here. Reminder too, I believe this is one of the Europe games, correct? This is not a home game.
Do we have 2 of those this week? Or is
Maybe
this
am I totally off base on this?
No, we do have one. I can't remember which one it is. The Dublin game.
Sunday, 9:30 a.m.
Yep, that would be this. Yeah. So you have that then to factor in, I guess, a good bit.
Yeah, that just, I don't know. That game is so weird to me. It's probably another sit back and watch the data point, but that's personal conjecture. The model is telling you the Steelers have some value. Falcons, another team at 2.5 here. Again, I hate the 2.5 number. Dave, can we get this up to 3?
Yeah, I would like to. I'd probably be a lot more keen on it there, as I'm sure the model would too, especially for a Falcons team that looks like an absolute mess lately. The Commanders didn't seem to miss a beat without Jaden Daniels. Mariota did exactly what they needed him to do, and what he has done in relief for them before. I think he's up to 6 total touchdowns and like 4 relief or backup appearances for the Commanders dating back to the end of last season. But yeah, he passed and rushed for a touchdown. Their defense didn't look super great of the Commanders. They let the Raiders hang in there, gave up some pretty explosive plays, 45 plus and 61 plus, I believe. But Michael Penix Jr. doesn't really look like he knows what he's doing. I does have the makings of a close game, but I just am not very confident in the Falcons right now. And outside of Bijan Robinson, there's not a lot of players to get excited about in that offense. To much to his chagrin, because he would be probably in that offensive player of the year conversation if the Falcons were competitive.
Yeah, Penix, man, arm talent is there. Like, I enjoy watching Atlanta on a week-to-week basis. Last week just seemed so, I don't know. I don't want to say unorthodox or out of the ordinary, but it's like they got down and just quit midway through that game. And if that had happened to like a good proven team, say you just get stomped and blanked by like Buffalo or Philadelphia, it's like, okay, that happened, shake it off. To have that happen to Carolina is a relatively major red flag to me. If we can't figure out anything against the Panthers, I am wondering how they're going to emotionally bounce back. But on the flip side, it's your traditional bounce back from a near disaster performance spot. And I think Washington, too, given the quarterback health concerns, is in a favorable spot to fade. On the flip side, Washington, I think, performed about as good as humanly possible without Jaden Daniels last week. So you're kind of, if you're playing the value game, buying Atlanta as low as possible, selling Washington possibly as high as possible, at least while you're having Jaden Daniels issues added together. Spot-wise, the Sharps would probably tell you Atlanta's a good side. One more early top 5 value play against the spread, and it's another good football number. The Bengals catching 7.5 in Denver. What do we think here?
I hope the bosses don't ream me out for this one, but this is a tough one for me to get behind. I know you like the number, but the Bengals were just downright awful. And like you said, they look like a wounded animal without Joe Burrow. They fumbled 3 times in the span of 2 minutes and 20 seconds of game clock. That takes skill, honestly. The Broncos could easily be 3-0. Their losses have all been very close. If you're in need of a get-right game for Denver, who definitely want to flip the script before things get late early, it probably would be this one against a very uninspiring, backed-up Bengals team. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I just probably wouldn't touch this game. I'll obviously ride with the Dimers model pick and our pick'ems. I don't put in my personal bias in there, but for me, I don't know. I just wouldn't touch the spread here.
Yeah, you can't feel confident putting anything behind Cincy right now. Now, the number itself might be enough for me to debate it, because I have enjoyed fading Denver a little bit. Honestly, I'll give you like little personal intel. The Denver Super Bowl breakout stuff, I haven't seen it. I just don't see it with this team at all. Bo Nix is a fun player to watch, but I think there are some losing habits with that franchise right now. The problem is no franchise loses more than Cincinnati when they don't have Joe Burrow. So I don't know. This will be a game that's probably on the third of my 4 TVs if I can get NFL Sunday Ticket up in the basement. And the only way I'll be really tuned in is if I do end up convincing myself 7.5 is a play, but we'll see. I'm iffy on it, at least on Tuesday. Maybe I'll change my mind by Thursday.